Politi is here now with health news. Have you ever heard of a plumping party? It turns out it's nothing like Tupperware. It's very underground, where liquid silicone is injected into body parts and apparently be putting lives at risk.
Absolutely. Now, these parties often take place in hotels or they take place in private homes, and their appeal is often the cost. These injections are much less expensive than getting a procedure done by a professional. Ovita is the newest injectable filler on the market.
Hyaluronic acid gel that's injected into the skin to correct minor imperfections like wrinkles. Some doctors use it also to volumize the face or make the lips bigger.
It is made to exacting standards in this clean room.
A typical batch that we make here takes about a month from start to finish, because all the materials that are brought into our facility are first tested for purity. And once the product is made, we then retest it.
Fillers like these are approved by Health Canada, but doctors are warning that some are resorting to silicone injections, a substance that looks very similar to this, often to plump buttocks and breasts.
In the 1980s or 90s, there were obvious side effects from this product, and it was actually removed from the marketplace. That's medical-grade silicone, and in Canada, it's being considered illegal to use the substance for the majority of its initial indications.
One exception involves using tiny amounts for a retinal condition. Some are also using commercial silicone that you might find at a hardware store.
There may be more impurities in the product. There may be heavy metals in the product. There may be things that are not meant to be injected.
The substance can migrate in the body, getting into the lungs and brain.
If the product were taken from the heart and sent to the brain, then you would get what's called a stroke. And the consequences of stroke would be neurologic compromise, potentially death.
An American doctor turned up 110 cases of illicit silicone use, though there are undoubtedly far more cases. Among those 110 cases, 20% of those whose lungs were affected died, as did almost all the patients whose brains were affected. Now, if you're going to use a filler, make sure it's approved and only have it administered by a trained professional. So make sure you check out those credentials.
You know, and it's the cost that drives people to the underground.
Yes.
Because these injections can go into the hundreds of dollars.
They could, absolutely, hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars, and they're things that you generally need to maintain.
But commercial grade silicone.
It sounds crazy.
It sounds
crazy.
Totally crazy.
Yeah.
All right, B. Thank you.
You're welcome.
In other news, a newlywed couple from Arizona